Robert, along with Moose and Goose, Darryl, Johnston, and Tony Siragusa. Happy New Year, Darryl.
Happy New Year, Kenny.
Well, the Philadelphia Eagles head into the new year having wrapped up the division title. They won the NFC East for the 6th time in 12 years under Andy Reid. The Eagles locked in as the number 3 seed in the conference, and they know that they will host a playoff game here next weekend.
And the most important thing for Philadelphia is to make sure they are as healthy as they possibly can be when they host that playoff game. So you're not going to see a lot of the starters on the field this afternoon. But still, in my opinion, 2 important things to find out. Number 1, defensively, the linebackers in the secondary have been very inconsistent this season. They've got to get that sorted out. And then number 2, Kevin Cobb gets the start today. It's been a while since he played, and since Michael Vick plays this game so recklessly, he's always one snap away. It's going to be good for Kevin Cobb's confidence this late in the season getting the start.
Kevin Cobb, a Texas native, will start against the Cowboys. He was the starter when this season began. Also in early September, the Dallas Cowboys had high aspirations. They hope to play in the Super Bowl in their home stadium next month. That will not happen.
And I think those high expectations is the reason why Jerry Jones has called this the most disappointing season in his tenureship as owner of the Dallas Cowboys. And there's going to be change after this season. The question is how much change will occur. A lot of that is going to be decided this afternoon during this game. Tony, this is very important for a lot of those players.
Absolutely, Dow. Happy New Year to you and Kenny. I just want to make one thing clear. Jason Garrett is the interim coach, despite all reports. I talked to Jerry Jones, and no one has been hired for 2011. Today, Jerry is going to be evaluating everyone, players and coaches. And like you said, Dow, if the players want to be back next year and they want Jason Garrett back as their head coach, they're going to have to prove it today to Jerry Jones.
All right, Goose. The Cowboys have won the toss. David Akers will get things started. Brian McCann is back deep for Dallas. Taken at the 1-yard line by McCann. And he's forced out of bounds just shy of the 20-yard line. As we check out scores from early games, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers stay alive. Atlanta clinches the number 1 spot in the NFC. New Orleans will be the 5 seed. Detroit finishes with their 4th consecutive victory. Huge win for the Steelers. They will be the number 2 seed in the AFC. There is Stephen McGee in his 2nd season out of Texas A&M. Replaced the injured John Kitna during the loss to Arizona last week. McGee making his first start in the National Football League as Felix Jones gains 2 on first down.
Steve McGee played well last week in that victory, or the loss to the Arizona Cardinals, stepping in for John Kitna. He's had the whole week to get ready for this. Jason Garrett said he handled all that very, very well. This is one of the areas I think that there's going to be some long, hard looks by Jerry Jones. The offensive line at times has not been consistent this year. We'll see how they do this afternoon.
Steve McGee got a little chip on his shoulders, too. Interview, huh, Darryl? I like that kid.
Yeah, he's brimming with confidence.
Yeah, he's fired up.
2nd down and 8. McGee throws for the first time. The catch is made by Jones, but Trevard Lindley, the rookie out of Kentucky, brings him down back at the 16-yard line for a loss of 5.
All right, everybody, let's get ready.
Here we go.
Let's just start naming them because they don't get this very often. Darryl Tapp, Jeremy Clark, Bobby McRae, Broderick Funkley jumps in for Antonio Dixon. Here's one of the areas that I really think Sean McDermott needs to take a long, hard look from a backup standpoint. Blitzing, coverage skills. Can we do some press man-to-man? Secondary and linebackers, they're going to get a long, hard look today by Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Jamar Adams starting. He was called up from the practice squad this week. And this is Miles Austin, who picks up a first down and more all the way out to the 48-yard line before he is finally tackled after a gain of 21.
This is a tough play for a defensive lineman. Austin outside there, comes underneath. Look at the offensive lineman setting up the blocks. Dal, you had to love this play.
Well, you know, it's gotten better and better. When it first came into the league, I worried about the speed and the athleticism of the player at the NFL level, but it's been fun to watch offensive coordinators really make this to be a staple in a lot of offenses. Miles Austin goes over 1,000 yards with that catch.
McGee roaming to his right on first down, and he's out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
Good to see Stephen McGee as we spoke with him yesterday afternoon, really not worried about any of this. And I think when you talk about a young guy stepping into this opportunity as a quarterback, the third guy on the roster, sometimes you worry about more than the things that are just part of throwing the ball, controlling the offense. We talked to him about the play clock, the communication back and forth between the sideline, getting up to the line of scrimmage with enough time to change the play if he wanted to.
Early timeout for the Eagles.
The Eagles use their first timeout. We'll be back. Back in Philadelphia on a rainy Sunday.
Well, lots of snow last weekend here in the Philadelphia area. Today we got a little bit of rain, and Tony's even talking about it a little bit freezing rain down there.
A little bit.
Second down and 5. Felix Jones picks up a first down. Tackled at the 35-yard line. Gain of 12.
Well, Stephen McGee came into this season with a lot of question marks, and Jason Garrett wanted to find out. The big game was their last preseason game against Miami. I think he learned a lot about him with the intangibles, and just to make sure that he's ready to play today. Come on now, Stephen. Come on.
Loosen him up. Loosen him up a little bit. That's the toughest thing, I think, when you're a quarterback, even a player playing your first game. You know, just going out there and relaxing a little bit. Let your athleticism go and take over.
Cowboys going with the wildcat formation. The direct snap to Rashard Choice. And Darryl, you mentioned that preseason game against Miami. There's McGee split out, matched up with Dimitri Patterson. McGee threw for over 300 yards in that game.
He did. He had the performance that gave him the opportunity to be the third quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys coming into the season. Gives him this opportunity as the starter today. So, again, a lot of it goes back to intangibles. I think you have the mechanics. You know a lot about your quarterback, but you need to find out how he responds in certain situations.
The end around did not fool the Eagles. Austin loses 9.
Well, Dimitri Patterson is one of the guys that Sean McDermott will be looking at because he struggled last few weeks. Here he comes off the edge. That's about as good as you can do it. Great timing with the cadence on the quarterback, and then he's upfield. He gets to a level where he forces Miles Austin to stop. And he doesn't allow him to run a bubble and get beyond him as the support guy there.
He does a great job of being the deepest player in the backfield, and that's what you need to do. You need to go and slow him down like Darryl said. That's a great open field tackle.
3 wide receivers set. Third down and 15 as McGee fires. He was looking for Manny Johnson, Trevard Lindley on the coverage.
I think we're going to see a little bit of pressure today from the Philadelphia Eagles. One of the things they will look at, which means you're going to get a lot of one-on-ones on the outside. Trevard Lindley, that's the kind of a little bit of a veteran move right there with a little tug to slow him down. And there's some of that pressure I'm talking about because really I think the timing, you know, who do I have at the linebacker level? Who do I have from my secondary that can be a good blitzer next week in my playoff game?
Here's Pro Bowler Matt McBride punting from midfield, end over end. Chad Hall will let it bounce. And it takes an Eagles bounce into the end zone. So Kevin Cobb and the Eagles offense will start from their own 20. Eagles on offense for the first time today. Kevin Cobb started 4 games earlier this season. Opening day and then 3 games in October. Cobb on first down complete. The tight end Clay Harbor for a gain of 8 as we check out the Eagles offense.
And I think Kevin Cobb has handled a difficult situation as well as anybody could expect him to. Jeremy Maclin will be a starter today. He's 36 yards away from 1,000. The Eagles hoping to get a pair of 1,000-yard receivers for the first time in franchise history. There's that offensive line. A lot of backups in there as well. We saw it in the defensive line. The same thing with the offensive line for Philadelphia.
Jerome Harrison picks up a first down out to the 38-yard line. The Cowboys defense.
And that's the challenge for Philadelphia today. They're going with a lot of backups, and they're going to be playing against the starters. Jay Ratliff, another Pro Bowl for him at the nose. It all starts up front. The linebackers for Dallas, a great edge rusher with DeMarcus Ware on one side. Anthony Spencer not having the year this year to follow up a nice season last year. And that secondary, they have been hit by the big play all season long.
Jason Avant in motion. 1st and 10 from the 38. Off the play fake. Cobb dumps it off to Harrison, breaks a tackle, and is knocked out of bounds at the 47-yard line after a gain of 8. So Cobb leading the Eagles today. Michael Vick is in the locker room, one of the 7 inactive Eagles today.
Well, that's one of the biggest problems on that last play, Darryl, with the Cowboys secondary and even their linebackers is tackling. You know, they haven't really gotten down the fundamentals of just a good open field tackle, and it's hurt them, and that's what's turned a lot of those regular small plays into huge plays for the opponent.
Harrison into Cowboys territory. Jerome Harrison started the season with Cleveland. Had a terrific last 3 games for the Browns last year. In fact, he led the entire league over those last 3 weeks with 561 yards. Eagles traded Mike Bell to the Browns for Harrison, and he should see bulk of the workload here today with Sean McCoy, another one of the Philadelphia inactives.
And we'll see Eldra Buckley in there as well, but Jerome Harrison an opportunity today, and in my opinion, one of the areas that Philadelphia has really struggled in for several seasons now, short yardage, goal line type situations. Jerome Harrison could show the coaches and get some confidence with them that he can be that runner.
Off the fake end around to Hall. Cobb going deep. Intended for Jeremy Macklin. Mike Jenkins on the coverage. Well, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as we mentioned, beat New Orleans, so the Bucs remain alive. The Packers will be in with a win over Chicago. Should Green Bay lose and the Giants defeat the Redskins, the Giants would go to the playoffs. If both the Packers and the Giants lose, it would be Tampa Bay. One of those 3 teams will be here in Philadelphia for the wild card game next weekend.
Congratulations to Tampa Bay on a great season, regardless of whether they get into the playoffs or not. Great turnaround by Raheem Morris and his staff.
Cobb had his pass batted back by Marcus Ware.
I don't think that ball was tipped. I think it just slipped right out of his hands. Pretty wet.
Yep.
He tried to hold it.
Ware coming from the backside.
Watch how close DeMarcus Ware gets to an interception on the deflection, Tony. It's just kind of fluttering right there. Saw it at the last second.
Yeah, you never expect it to just pop right in front of your face.
So now a 3rd down and 10 for the Eagles. 3 receivers. Eagles must get to the 38. And this time the pass gets batted back. It's Jay Ratliff, one of 5 Cowboys heading to the Pro Bowl.
I think that defenses have become so good at this, Tony, you know, recognizing the fact that the ball comes out a little bit quicker. They're not going to get there, so you get in that lane and you get your hands up.
Jay Ratliff knows he's got the double team right in front of him. He's not going to really get a lot of push. They're going to stale him right there. He's reading the quarterback's eyes. You get your hands up. That's a huge play for a defense right there. Gets you off the field. You got an opportunity if you get that tipped up in the air for an interception. That's a huge play on Jay Ratliff.
Jay Ratliff, who told us yesterday, I am tired of losing. McCann let it bounce, and it rolls out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Second home game in 6 days for the Philadelphia Eagles. They lost to the Vikings here on Tuesday night.
Yeah, kind of a crazy week for them, and they've done a good job with their mental focus. You know, also one of the reasons why you've got the starters out of the lineup. They missed a great opportunity Tuesday night, and the most important thing for Philadelphia right now is to make sure you're as healthy as you can be when you host that playoff game.
Here's Felix Jones out to the 13-yard line. Had the Eagles beaten the Vikings on Tuesday, they would still be alive for that bye, but Atlanta and Chicago will have the byes next week. Andy Reid resting many of his starters on both sides of the football today, heading to the playoffs for the 9th time in 12 years.
A pretty impressive run right there by Andy Reid here as the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. And in an era of free agency, what Andy Reid and what Bill Belichick has done up in New England is amazing to stay on top as long as they have.
2nd and 6, here's Jones. And we talked to Andy about his relationship with Belichick. They're pretty good friends. They chat frequently.
I'm just, when free agency came in, I didn't think you would see the teams that stayed at the top, year after year after year. What New England has done is absolutely amazing in my opinion, and to see really what Andy Reid has done here. They're always competitive. This was not supposed to be the type of season that Philadelphia is having this year. This was kind of a change in direction. We're going to get young. We really don't know what we have, and I think Andy Reid's done one of his best coaching jobs of his tenure here this season.
Play clock at 2. Cowboys get the snap away as McGee hands it off to Choice, and he's bottled up at the 16-yard line by Darryl Tapp.
Right now you have to be impressed with how Philadelphia is playing. Again, this is Dallas's frontline starters going up against a lot of backups for the Philadelphia Eagles. And here's 2 offensive opportunities. They had a nice first drive with the big pass to Miles Austin, but that Philadelphia defense on that series really controlled the line of scrimmage the entire time.
McBriar punting for the second time. Good kick. John Hall moving to his left. Takes it up to 27. Breaks the first tackle. Penalty marker. Another flag comes in as Hall returns it 15 yards to the 42. Bobby April, Eagles special teams coach. 57-yard punt. 15 on the return. Tony Correnti, our referee.
During the return of the kick, holding, receiving team number 23. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's on Dimitri Patterson. Not the first time he's been flagged this year.
I tell you, these are the games that I hated, Tony. I'd much rather be in the snow right now than this cold rain.
It ain't cold rain, it's ice. You get pelted.
Tony would know he's down on the field. Second offensive possession for the Eagles as Harrison takes it out to the 33, forced back by a combination of Keith Brooking and Brady James. The Eagles locked in as the number 3 seed since the NFL went to a 12-team playoff system. Number 3 seeds have not had much success. Only 1 Super Bowl champion in 2 decades.
Yeah, you know, in the NFC, it has been dominated by the top seeds for a long time. Number 1, number 2, those were your teams. The AFC, there was a little bit more disparity with teams coming from the back of the pack. Tony, your Baltimore Ravens, the team that won a Super Bowl, coming in as a wild card and making a great run. But you can see in the NFC, very, very difficult road for that number 3 seed. That's why that loss Tuesday night was such a huge loss for the Philadelphia Eagles. And again, Andy Reid, he has been outstanding after that bye week, whether it's regular season or postseason. The ability to have that bye, get that extra time, you know, get that game plan really dialed in, get your players rested up.
Out of the shotgun on 3rd down and 4. Nice catch by Harrison, but not enough. And I've heard you guys debate it now for the last 4 years. Tony's Ravens won the Super Bowl coming out of the wild card back in 2000. As we take another look at the nice catch made by Harrison.
Hey, finally bringing a little pressure up front. Forcing Kevin Cobb to get rid of that ball a little earlier than I think he wanted to.
Pretty good job by Owen Schmidt. You know, as a fullback, sometimes you play against that 3-4 style defense. You're going to have to block those big pass rushers coming from that outside linebacker position. He had DeMarcus Ware protection on that one.
Ruckus punt. Fair catch called for by McCann at the 24-yard line as the rain continues to fall on Goose. Cowboys 5-10, but an opportunity, Darryl, for these players to show themselves on film. This film will not only be watched by the Cowboy coaches, but the other 31 teams.
Yeah, that was always my motivation. The film goes out to everybody. So, you know, the team that's going to play Philadelphia next week in that playoff game is going to watch this film. You don't want your peers to see you on film taking plays off or not playing well. So that was always the thing that motivated me the most.
McGee steps up, wrapped up at the 20-yard line. Roderick Buckley and Dimitri Patterson share the sack.
Bringing the heat here, Darryl.
Well, here's the second time again with Demetri Patterson. There he is, 23, working against Jason Witten. That's a nice move right there. Gets Jason to open his hips, comes back right back inside on the play.
They brought 7 pass rushes on that play. He's got to get rid of that ball a little earlier, Stephen McGee.
Well, Demetri Patterson's got a lot to prove to Sean McDermott. He was taken out of the game last week and replaced by Jose Leo Hansen. He gave up 3 touchdown passes against the Giants 2 weeks ago. Did not have a great game last week against Minnesota.
McGee on 2nd and 14, complete to the tight end Martellus Bennett. And he fights his way back to the line of scrimmage. Moses Foku and Jeremy Clark make the tackle. You pointed out both Clark and Bobby McCray during lineups. They were both signed by the Eagles this week, and they're both on the field. Number 73 McCray and 63 Clark. In fact, Clark has been with every team in the NFC East over the last year.
He's stealing secrets from everybody and then moving on.
He's got a book on everybody.
He was a Cowboy last month. Third down and 14. And McGee under pressure throws it away.
They picked up half the blitz on the right-hand side, but didn't have enough guys.
Well, one of the things you're going to do against a young quarterback is bring pressure to him and challenge to see if he understands where the hots and the adjusts are.
Colt Anderson did a really nice job on his delay coming through the line of scrimmage.
Offense, which includes a loss of down, 4th down. As a penalty was less than 10 yards, so it'll be enforced 10 yards from the previous spot. 4th down.
Just a real tough start right now for this Dallas offense under Stephen McGee. And, you know, sometimes, Tony, you talk to backup quarterbacks, and when they have to come in under pressure, when the starter gets hurt and you just have to go in the lineup, you're kind of out there and you're playing and you're in the moment. And then when you get that whole week to prepare, sometimes that's a little bit different and it impacts them.
Well, I like what the Eagles are doing here. Put pressure on him. I mean, he's a young quarterback. Don't give him any time to go and settle in. I mean, you could see him in the pocket right now. McGee, he's just not comfortable right now. He's seeing the blitz. He's not looking downfield. He's looking at the blitzers, and he's off balance. That's exactly what you should do when you go against a young quarterback. Don't give him time to go and gain any confidence.
And on the other side, you have Kevin Cobb, who was named the starter when the Eagles traded Donovan McNabb to Washington. Andy Reid called him up and said, congratulations, you're the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Started week 1 against Green Bay, suffered a concussion. Michael Vick came in, and the rest is history, although Cobb did start 3 games in October after Vick was knocked out by the Redskins. From the Cowboys 39 on 1st down. Cobb over the middle, and that pass was behind the intended receiver, Jason Avant. Eagles awaiting the results of this afternoon's late games to learn their opponent next weekend. Giants out to a 3-0 lead over Washington. Packers and the Bears are scoreless. Buccaneers have already won, so they stay alive in the race for the number 6 spot in the NFC. Cobb on 2nd down over the middle. This time the catch is made for a 1st down by Avant. Alan Ball finally brings him down. Jason Avant gains 21 yards.
This is what happens. You bring the blitz. You're going to get people in one-on-one. Orlando Scandrick, 32, is in coverage. He's already beat. He's beat on the release. He's playing an outside leverage. And at the end of this, watch his hands. His hands go up in the air like, where was my help? I was supposed to have help on that one. And we have seen this time and time again in the Dallas secondary, where it appears that there's missed assignments in the coverage.
Well, then the Scandrick had an opportunity to make the tackle. He's worried about he got caught the ball. You got to get him down on the ground. Not good.
Now Cobb's pass is incomplete, intended for the tight end Clay Harbor.
And just to get back to the Kevin Cobb and the switch that Andy Reid with Michael Vick, it wasn't a reflection on Kevin Cobb playing poorly. It was really Michael Vick came out and played at a level in this offense that I don't think Andy Reid or Monty Morningweg expected him to be able to play at. And really, in my opinion, the biggest thing is the offensive line has been inconsistent for Philadelphia throughout the course of the season. They've played really well at times, other times not so good. Michael Vick gives them a great opportunity to extend plays when protection's not great.
Here's Harrison to the 16, so Cobb basically loses his job to the guy who will most likely finish second to Tom Brady in MVP vote.
And going back to the Pro Bowl
as a starter. Looks like Max Gene Gillis is down, the Eagles starting right guard. So the medical staff now tending to Gene Gillis. Max Gene Gillis, the only Eagles starter on the offensive line who started today's game, shaken up on this last play.
And that's what happened. You always want to keep your feet moving as an offensive lineman in that pile, so in case somebody falls, you don't get your leg trapped.
Nick Cole's got to stay up on his feet.
OTGs. No OTGs. Keep everybody
off the ground.
Yep.
Nick Cole moves to right guard, and Mike McGlynn checks in at center. He's the usual starter. Cobb throws, and the catch is made at the 6-yard line for a first down by Chad Hall, his 6th reception of the season, the rookie out of Air Force, gains 10.
Tell you what, the Cowboys defensive line, they're only rushing 4 guys. They are really getting stoned at the line of scrimmage. Watch this right here. They bring 4. Watch the Eagles offensive line. 5 on 4, boom. That's a stone. That's what you call that. They're right on the line of scrimmage. They're not getting any pressure, any push up the field. Kevin Cobb's just sitting back there, and he's going to pick them apart if he has that kind of time.
Cobb split out to the left. Eagles in the Wildcat. Hall takes the snap, takes it up the middle, and gains a couple.
That's one of the things that Chad Hall does. Is your defense getting ready for him, you've got to account for him across the formation. We saw the catch on the previous play. Marty Morningweg will move him all through the formation. A little bit of wildcat on that last play there.
First quarter winds down as Marty Morningweg checks his play chart. And the teams will head down to the other end. No score after 1 here in Philadelphia.
Well, really only 2 offensive starters starting the game today for Philadelphia. Max Gene Gillis, the right guard. Owen Schmidt, the fullback. I had a little conversation with Andy Reid about that, wondering why it's always the fullback that gets stuck out there.
On 2nd and goal, Cobb stays on his feet, now throws back to the end zone. Touchdown, Chad Hall.
Great job by Kevin Cobb staying alive back there. But on the other hand, the Cowboys defense, that was a pathetic effort trying to get a quarterback down when you have opportunities to go and get him down on the ground, especially in the red zone, Darryl.
And then the coverage, Tony. I don't know how you turn a guy loose, who's in your area. I mean, there were several Cowboys around Chad Hall, but they left him alone. I mean, there was a clear line of vision from Kevin Cobb to Chad Hall on that throw.
David Akers, the extra point. First NFL touchdown for Chad Hall. Spent the last 2 years repairing F-16 bombers while stationed in Salt Lake City. Back in Philadelphia, here's Deshaun Jackson. Inactive for today's game. Chatting with Chad Hall, who scores his first touchdown in the NFL. So the Eagles take a 7-0 lead. David Akers kicking off. Taken out the goal line by McCann. And Brian McCann tackled at the 16-yard line by Moses Foku.
Kevin Cobb, Tony pointed out, doing a good job extending the play. Doesn't have anybody out to his right, slides to his left, and he gets his feet reset. Finds Chad, but there's the thing, you lose a guy in coverage. That one I don't understand. There were several defenders around Chad Hall in the back, but nobody was close enough to make a play on the ball.
Now Stephen McGee and the Cowboys back to work from their own 17-yard line. And off on first down, Felix Jones. Jones picks up a first down, and is finally shoved out of bounds by Trevon Lindley at the 37-yard line. Gain of 20 for Jones.
Talking about running through arm tackles, Felix Jones comes through the line of scrimmage. There's one, there's two, and there's three, and almost 3.5. But that's what a hard runner does. You can't go and just arm tackle. You got to stay on your feet and run through the tackle and wrap up and hope the rest of the boys are coming to help you out.
Cowboys' running game has improved since Jason Garrett took over.
And that's what they should be leaning on this afternoon. They really need to lean on that running game. It's been much more productive.
From the 37, this is Tashard Choice. Last time the Cowboys played the Eagles, as the game ended, Choice out on the field, requested an autograph from Michael Vick for his nephew, took some criticism.
Yeah, you know, maybe a different era than when Tony and I played. You know, I don't imagine anybody doing it back then. But, you know, you make a choice and you live with it. You know, maybe next time you follow him up the tunnel, you know, don't do it out on the field where all the cameras are.
Tashard Choice made his choice.
Yeah.
And this is Choice out of the Wildcat. And he is brought down at the 44 by Jeremy Clark, and Choice does not ask Clark for his autograph as he gets back up.
Jeremy Clark does a great job right here. Watch, this is a short tackle. Watch. Run through, wrap it up, drive your feet, slam them down to the ground, get up, do a nice little dance or something like that, whatever you really want to. Akeem Jordan, that was a nice job by him wrapping it up.
Jordan got him from the front and Clark from the back. 3rd down and 3. Cowboys empty the backfield. He must get to the 47. McGee under pressure. And the Cowboys once again forced to punt. Pass intended for Manny Johnston.
Looks like he's pressing a little bit too much, Darryl.
Well, in this situation, Tony, when you go empty, you don't have anybody in the backfield that can help you. You've got your 2 blitzers up in the A gap, and they are getting around Stephen McGee. They have been close, and you can see right there, he's upset with the route by Manny Johnston.
Fair catch called for at the 7-yard line by Chad Hall.
Jerry Jones called the loss to Arizona last week and the most disappointing one of his tenure as owner of the Dallas Cowboys. He can't be happy right now. This is his starting groups, offensively and defensively, going against primarily backups for the Philadelphia Eagles, and they've controlled the play up until this point.
Jerome Harrison out to the 12-yard line, gain of 4. Eagles with a touchdown on their last drive. Touchdown throw from Cobb to Hall. So for the 3rd straight season, Eagles set a new franchise record for points.
So you make the change at quarterback from 2009 to 2010. We're going to say goodbye to Donovan McNabb. And how many Eagles fans would have thought that they would have broken that record for points scored in a season? It's been a great job by Andy Reid and Monty Morningway with this offense all season long.
Here's Harrison again. Eagles #1 in overall offense. They average 399 yards per game. There's Morningway. 2nd in the league in scoring, behind only New England. Patriots 32 points per game. Eagles just over 28. New England scored 38 points today, as Tom Brady has now gone 335 passes without an interception, 26 touchdown passes since his last pick.
But I like what he did with Michael Vick. He did not change his offense. He took Michael Vick as a quarterback and put him in there and said, this is how we run this offense. These are the things I want you to do.
Vick named the Pro Bowl starter at quarterback for the NFC. Here's Cobb on 3rd and 3. Has the football knocked away. It's scooped up by DeMarcus Ware, and he takes it in for a Cowboys touchdown. Now Jerry's happy.
Well, that'll go a long way for Stephen McGee, too, as your 3rd quarterback, getting a little help, getting some points off of a defensive performance. Again, you break contain. I know it's hard. You've got to tuck the ball away. You've got it out like that. These guys are coached so well. Look at Anthony Spencer. As he comes down, you can't help but seeing right there. DeMarcus Ware hustling over, is able to scoop that one up. before you've got to get two hands on it. He's not outside of the danger zone yet. Keep two hands on that ball until you break outside the pocket.
David Beeler, who missed a key extra point last week, connects on this one. Tied at 7. Eagles and Cowboys now tied at 7 following DeMarcus Ware's 3rd career touchdown. Cowboys doing it with defense. Sack, forced fumble by Anthony Spencer. Returned 17 yards for a touchdown by DeMarcus Ware. This is Gerard Lawson out of the UFL on the return for the Eagles, and he's wrapped up at the 29-yard line. Who will the Eagles host next weekend? Will it be Green Bay? If they win, it will be the Eagles and the Packers. Packers and Bears scoreless in the 2nd quarter. If the Packers lose and the Giants win, then it would be the New York Giants, and they lead the Washington Redskins 3-0 on the road in the 2nd quarter. If both the Packers and Giants lose, then it would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who stayed alive with a win over the defending Super Bowl champion New Orleans Saints. Kevin Cobb and the Eagles back to work from their own 29 as Cobb fires a bullet, and it's caught out of the 37-yard line for a gain of 8 by Chad Hall.
Now, Tony, I know that you're surprised that you're not seeing a little bit more pressure from the Dallas Cowboy defense with Kevin Cobb back there. We were expecting them to blitz a little bit more, but it seems like they're content to bring the 4 at this point.
Yeah, I am really shocked. Not just that, Darryl. The secondary's given a big cushion. I'm watching the corners. Everybody's backing up. There's a lot of space between the receivers and the defenders right now to give Kevin Cobb a lot of room to go and throw the ball downfield.
Love the hat, Goose.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it kept my head dry. It was hailing out. It's sort of like beautiful out now. Brisk 34 or something like that. Not really a weather man, but something like that, Kenny.
New Year's weekend in Philadelphia after the Eagles had their game pushed from last Sunday night to Tuesday due to the blizzard-like conditions. 3rd down and 1. Eagles keep it on the ground, and Harrison picks up a first. Love chatting with Goose's mom today. It's not her first trip for a football game to Philadelphia. She visited the old vet on many occasions when Tony played across the street.
That's a brave mom.
Yeah, oh, she was right there, too, with the big button and the jersey on and scrapping a little bit.
She's a veteran.
Oh, she's got a great right hook, let me tell you. She could throw an iron 15 feet, too, dead on.
New set of downs for the Eagles. Here's Harrison out to the 46-yard line.
Trying to center that Dallas defense. That's the play right there that the first time these teams played, the Cowboys had gotten it to a 3-point game with a little over 4 minutes to go, and Philadelphia came out and just ran the ball right at the Dallas Cowboys and took all that time off. That was the featured play right there. It was as physical as I've seen Philadelphia's offensive running game all season long.
Game won by the Eagles 30-27 back on December 12th in Dallas. 2nd down and 7. Cobb with time, and catch is made by Chad Hall for a first down. It's Hall's 4th reception today.
Well, they're dropping back in zone coverage. There it is. There's the 4 guys that Tony's talking about. Now everybody else is going back into zone, and you just find those little windows underneath. And Chad Hall, he's going to be hard to keep track of. Dallas is struggling to find number 16 as he works his way through those zones.
Mike McGlynn, the center for the Eagles, is really doing a great job of getting his guy and swiping him out of the middle of the field to give Cobb a nice look downfield so he has a nice big open window to find his receivers.
Penalty marker is thrown, and there's McGlynn. Remember, he did not start this game.
Holding, offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's on King Dunlap, the Eagles' right tackle. Nick Cole started the game at center, but the right guard, Max Gene Gillis, suffered a left ankle injury. His return is doubtful, so Mike McGlynn forced to come into the game.
Him and Michael
Gillis, the only starter who actually started today, Goose.
And he's in the locker room with Michael Vick. Reason if you just joined us, if you haven't seen Michael Vick and we haven't shown him, he is in the locker room watching this game.
Michael Vick inactive, LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, all resting today, not in uniform. Eldra Buckley, his first carry, and Buckley takes it to the Cowboys 45.
I'm just very surprised at how well Philadelphia is controlling the flow up front in this game.
Pounded it.
Yeah, the backups are doing a great job. I mean, look at the running lane for Eldra Buckley here.
Guys just aren't getting off blocks. There's no separation. The Eagles' offensive line is doing a great job of holding on, staying on the guy, and as he goes to make the block, keep going and pancaking him. I'm seeing a lot of pancakes out here. And hungry.
We saw Deshaun Jackson. He's heading back to Hawaii. From the 45 on 2nd and 10. Cobb fires, complete. Darryl to the fullback. Owen Schmidt. His first reception today as we check in on the Packers and the Bears with Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
It's a defensive struggle so far. 3rd and goal. Eric Walden sacks Jay Cutler, forces the Bears to settle for a field goal. Chicago has a 3-0 lead. If Green Bay wins, they're in the playoffs. If not, a giant victory puts New York in the playoffs, and New York leads Washington 3-0 as well. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Thanks, Kurt. The Bears locked into that number 2 spot. Atlanta the 1 seed, Chicago the 2, Philadelphia the 3. The winner of tonight's St. Louis Seattle game the 4. New Orleans the 5. Number 6 up for grabs. And the 6th seed will play the Eagles. Play Harbour, the intended receiver.
Lovie Smith staying true to his word there in Chicago. He said he was going to play his guys. Chicago can improve their position. Kevin Kolb hasn't been able to get into any type of rhythm so far here in the game.
Starting for the first time since October 24th in Nashville. Rocket punting from his own 48. End over end, and a fair catch is called for at the 15-yard line by McCann. There is Jason Garrett, the interim head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys started the season 1-7 under Wade Phillips, and they've won 4 of 7 games under Jason Garrett. This game tied at 7, with Stephen McGee making his first NFL start at quarterback. Hands it off to Felix Jones, and he goes nowhere, tackled by Darryl Tapp.
Well, Jason Garrett, as a former player, is going to lack head coaching experience at any level. And Jerry Jones said that was going to be one of the things he looked at. But taking away all the player coaches, look at this group. Mike Smith with the Falcons, John Harbaugh in Baltimore, Sean Payton with New Orleans, Steve Spagnuolo and Todd Haley. These are all coaches whose first opportunity to be a head coach was their current NFL job. So sometimes I think you look at experience and you maybe give it too much credit. And it was something interesting that when Jerry made the comment, and we went back and looked at some of the other coaches around the NFL, and of course, you know, somebody like a Jack Del Rio and Jason Garrett as an interim head coach, you know, Mike Ditka and Dan Reeves from their time, you know, as a former player, you're not going to have experience as a head coach at any level because you get right into the business once your career ends. But we were surprised to see, you know, the group of coaches we just showed you, that was also their first opportunity as a head coach in the NFL, and they've all been very, very successful, especially Steve Spagnuolo, who's going for the NFC West Division Championship this evening, and Todd Haley this year, you know, in their first 2 seasons have done a great job at St. Louis and Kansas City.
3rd down and 8. The slant by McGee. Catch is made by Manny Johnston, but not enough for a first down. So none of those guys head coaches at any level. At the high school level, at the college level, their first head coaching jobs came in the NFL. Now, our Jake Glazer reported on the pregame show that Jason Garrett will be the head coach in Dallas definitively. But the Cowboys told us nothing is official, nothing has changed. He still has the interim tag, and Goose posed the question prior to the game to Cowboys owner Jerry Jones.
They're ahead, but the reports are ahead of where we are. And it's the same as it was the first of the week. After the game, then I'll sit down there and interview under our Rooney Rule. Then I certainly have some interviewing to do, but I'll get that done. And but I will move on this thing real quick. And so that's where it actually is today. Those reports that I've made that decision are wrong.
Okay, good.
But certainly I'm proud of the job he's doing, and pleased for him and for us as well. I'm talking Jason.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, I think it's a tough decision because you got a guy who the team knows, they know what they expect out of him. He's changed the attitude, I think, and you know, but you got to go and look at your other options too.
Yeah, it's just
and I think that's the most important thing. The one thing that I've heard from Jerry Jones and what he's saying is, I want to hit the ground running next season. So that means you want as little amount of change as possible. So, you know, is Jason Garrett going to be one of the favorite guys? Absolutely, absolutely. I think he's definitely going to be one of the guys who's at the top of his list.
You know, we're talking to Jerry also, Darryl. You know, he wants to make a decision very, very quick. And one of the reasons why is, you know, you have all the assistant coaches that Jason, if he is the head coach or whoever the head coach is going to be, you have a bigger selection of assistant coaches, which I think is a lot more important, you know, to get the right assistant coaches in there underneath you that have the same philosophy or experience, to surround yourself with the smartest guys that you have.
Personal foul, illegal crackback block, number 82, offense. 15-yard penalty, repeat second down.
That's on Clay Harbor, and Jerry did say to Tony during that get-together on the field before the game, he's proud of the job Jason has done, but he said we must satisfy the Rooney Rule by interviewing minority candidates, and Ray Sherman, the wide receivers coach, will have a chance to sit down and interview with Jerry Jones. But Jerry said the reports that I have made the decision already are wrong.
Yeah, a little bit premature, and I applaud Jason Garrett for the job he's done, because what he talked about was changing culture, and that is not an easy thing to do. We've seen Rod Marinelli try and do it in Detroit in his time there. There's certain coaches that take over franchises, and you're trying to change everything. Mike Singletary out in San Francisco was unable to do that. It's a very difficult thing, and Jason has done a tremendous job as an interim coach in just half a season and really changing the culture of the Dallas Cowboys at practice.
Cobb off his back foot on 2nd and 22, intended for Riley Cooper. And when we spoke with Cowboy players, one of the main areas they point to is the practice schedule and the tempo during practice sessions since Jason Garrett took over.
And one of the reasons I think they have run the ball more effectively the second half of the season, he practices it during the course of the week. It creates competition when you practice at an up tempo. Everybody becomes a little bit better. And, you know, the addition of that guy right there, John Kitna, he did a fantastic job stepping in for Tony Romo.
You know, I think Jason Garrett would be a great fit also, Darryl. I just want to put my 2 cents in. I think that, you know, if you don't go with Jason Garrett, you got to start from square one again. You have to come up with a practice plan. I mean, nothing that's installed right now for the Dallas Cowboys, and nothing any of the players know is going to be back. You know, new players will come in, new coaches, you know, new style of practice, a new attitude. I mean, you're going to start from square one. So I think, you know, if you hire a guy like Jason, he comes in, you know what to expect. He knows the players. He doesn't have to evaluate a lot of the players. He knows who he wants to keep, who he wants to get rid of, where he wants to make his changes as far as assistant coaches. So I think you're ahead of the game with a guy like that, and I think he really has, you know, talking to every player out there, has the respect of the players on this team right now.
And Jason Witten, one of the team leaders, veteran tight end, told us yesterday, we are all hopeful that Jason Garrett does in fact return as our head coach. 2.5 remaining second quarter. Well, are you hungry for laughs? Then don't miss the grand opening of Bob's Burgers, a delicious new addition to Sunday's Animation Domination. Entertainment Weekly raves a comedy this well done is very rare indeed. Bob's Burgers series premiere 1 week from tonight after an all-new Simpsons on Fox.
Looking forward to that. Doesn't hurt to be right behind the Simpsons either.
Bob's Burgers, don't miss it, Goose.
Never missed a burger in my life, Kenny.
1st and 10, 20-yard line. Stephen McGee steps up, takes off, slides, and and is close to a first down.
He's pulling that ball down pretty fast there, Darryl. I know. I like seeing him going and running for first downs and keeping drives going, and it'll definitely slow down the rush. If they got to worry about McGee going and using his legs to go and get first downs, it'll slow down the rush. But he's got to cover up there. I mean, that was a good slide, but you don't want to be getting hit too much from that secondary.
Well, he did pick up the first, and now we'll have a couple of minutes to think about it. We've hit the 2-minute warning in Philadelphia. Eagles and Cowboys tied at 7. There's Tony Romo standing to the right of Jason Garrett. Romo started the first 6 games, suffered the fractured clavicle in a game against the Giants in late October. John Kitna started the last 9. Now it's Stephen McGee's turn. And McGee will take off and run again, tackled at the 34.
And you wonder if Dallas wishes they hadn't have put him on IR. And then with the injury to John Kitna, because here he is pregame, he was out there throwing it around. And these guys are all very, very competitive. I'm sure Tony Romo would have loved the opportunity to get a chance to play one more time this season.
You know what, Darryl, I did talk to him, too, before the game.
False start, offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, remains, second down.
And that's exactly what he said. He says, I wish they didn't put me on IR. I'd like to go out there today and play a little bit. He goes, I feel great. I want to go and sling it a little bit. And, he feels 100%. That's pretty rare. He's had a lot of rest, but when you come out here and all of a sudden you're playing the Philadelphia Eagles on a night like this, and you want to go out there and play. I know you do, Darryl.
Those days are long gone.
At least one series. Come on.
Do you? You don't want to be up here?
I prefer it up here. I feel much better on Monday morning.
I just want to hit somebody one time.
Well, you've done that throughout the weekend. Second down and 11 to Shard Choice out to the 34-yard line. Coming up, the Visa halftime report with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. They'll be along with scores and highlights, updates on the Packers and the Giants. The Tampa Bay Bucks still alive. It's all coming up during the Visa halftime report. Giants 10-0 over the Redskins. The Packers trailing the Bears 3-0. McGee to Jason Witten, but he was out of bounds.
Darryl, it sounds like Kenny doesn't like when I use him as an example for, locking out and how offensive linemen are supposed to punch. When I have, once in a while, Kenny stand up. Kenny got a couple black and blues.
Oh, I love it, Goose, anytime. I'll miss you next week during our bye week.
Yeah. Get to stay home, watch the games. You guys got another little thing going on next week, don't you? On Friday night?
Another little thing? The Cotton Bowl?
Yeah, the Cotton Bowl's a little thing. Nice.
Texas A&M and LSU. Punt bounced in front of Chad Hall. And it will be down at the 30. Well, Darryl and I will be there at Cowboys Stadium this Friday night, one of the most anticipated bowl games of the season, as the LSU Tigers take on the Texas A&M Aggies in a rivalry that is over 110 years old. Our exclusive coverage of the 75th AT&T Cotton Bowl Classic live from Cowboys Stadium begins Friday at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific in high definition only on Fox. Texas A&M, Stephen McGee's alma mater.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's going to be a great game.
It really is.
Wow.
You looked at that schedule, and obviously you've got the big bowl championship game, and I really like the Cotton Bowl matchup with LSU and A&M, and I'm looking forward to see Mike Sherman and Les Miles.
Mike Sherman, head coach at Texas A&M, former head coach of the Green Bay Packers. Pass is caught by Clay Harbor, but now it's ruled an incompletion.
Philadelphia.
He bobbled it. Eagles will call timeout with 44 seconds remaining. So the Eagles will not have a bye next week. They will host a playoff game either Saturday or Sunday during the regular season. Unbelievable success following a bye week under Andy Reid.
It's amazing. I mean, they're undefeated regular season and playoffs. So it was a huge missed opportunity for Philadelphia with that loss to Minnesota. But, they've really kind of approached it and kind of created a little bit as best you can, making sure that Michael Vick is getting the rest that he needs. Obviously, he's been the key to this season for this Philadelphia offense. We showed you they set another franchise record for scoring this season. A lot of that obviously to do with Michael Vick.
I know you're a big fan, Darryl, of that bye week, but I'm not. I like keeping the momentum. I don't like a bye week. I think you just keep going and moving and shaking. The bye week, I don't know. I think too many things can happen in the bye week.
Following the timeout, pass is caught by Harrison. That last play ruled a reception. Officials got together and they did rule it a catch by Clay Harbor. And Goose, you won a Super Bowl as a wild card, but Darryl, all three of your Super Bowl wins in 92, 93, and 95 came with a bye week for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I thought it was very, very important for us, and it was kind of a progression that we went through. And obviously, the number one prize is getting home field, you know, throughout the course of the playoffs. Is the number one seed. That was great, but you know, I just think, you know, it's a physical season. You know, you got bumps and bruises that you didn't even think about, and right there, I mean, just little things like that, they add up during the course of the year. I mean, you know, you don't even take into consideration, you know, all those hits right there. And for me, that week off was irreplaceable.
And it was a little bit different for us, Kenny, you know, not having the bye week. I liked the momentum. I thought that we had momentum towards the end of the season. Our defense was playing great. Our offense was getting better. And I thought that we needed to play. We needed to be out there. We needed to go and have a game and keep the same schedule and the routine going and follow us all the way out. And I think the bye week would have helped or hurt us as a defense and as a team with the Ravens in 2000, rather than, you know, having the bye week and you know, not having that same routine. I really liked, you know, playing every week and getting better and better and better. Yeah, the bumps and bruises are there, and Darryl, you know, alluded to that, but I don't know. But Darryl, maybe I like the bumps and bruises a little bit.
Well, the big thing is as long as your staff convinces you as players that this is the best route. You know, I'm sure that Brian Billett with you guys did a great job of, you know, hey, this is where we are. This is how we're going to do this, the same way that Jimmy Johnston, you know, did for us.
McCann called for the fair catch and then had the football bounce away. He's had some trouble in recent weeks holding on to the football. Officials try and get to the bottom of the pile. Eagles signaling that they have it. And they do. Gerard Lawson, somewhere at the bottom of the pile, comes up with the football.
Just simple little things, little fundamentals, catching the punt. It's all the small things during the course of the game that add up, Tony.
Yeah,
you
that's
can't
a huge
really
play
expand
right
on
there
now.
for the
It
Eagles.
changes field position. You're going to get a chance to come out on the field as the offense. And now you've given Philadelphia one more shot with 23 seconds left here.
And they got a timeout too, Darryl.
And they've got David Akers.
McCann's sixth fumble of the season from the 34-yard line. As Cobb is wrapped up from behind once again by DeMarcus Ware.
All right, when you look at Dallas's defense, and you are going to take the field with a lot of backups in place, and I think that this was Marty Morningweg's big concern with Kevin Cobb being out there. Have I given him enough? And two of the guys that he's looking at is DeMarcus Ware and Jay Ratliff. And right there, you have to give somebody some help. You can't expect Austin Howard to be out there one-on-one in this situation and stand up to DeMarcus Ware. You've got to give him a back chip. You've got to put a tight end over there, something to help him out.
Some kind of help, man. Right now, he's on an island. And DeMarcus Ware is just getting, you know, I see drool coming from the sides of his mouth right now. I want more. You don't want him getting started. Look at them eyes right there, Darryl. He's into it.
Ware with a sack on consecutive plays, now has 14.5 this season.
Just come in and put Owen Schmidt. There he goes. You walk out, watch. He's going to give him a hit before he releases.
He's still coming, though. I told you. I told you I saw it.
Ware coming again, and Cobb throws it away.
Either he's got rabies or he wants to play, Darryl, because there's foam coming out of his mouth. DeMarcus Ware.
Well, you move the fullback up. Now, Owen Schmidt's got to get a lot better piece of him than that. And look at the ability to dip that shoulder, maintain his balance, and still get upfield.
That's what he's hearing right now.
Cobb steps up, fires downfield to the end zone. It is picked off by Gerald Sensabaugh as the first half comes to an end. Team leading 5th pick of the season for Sensabaugh. Cowboys touchdown came from their defense as we take one more look at the Hail Mary attempt by Kevin Cobb. So the Cowboys and the Eagles at the half are tied at 7 here in Philadelphia.
But I have been impressed with how Philadelphia has played offensively and defensively in this first half. They have a lot of backups in these lineups, and they stood toe-to-toe with Dallas, and for the majority of the first half controlled the flow on the line of scrimmage. As you pointed out, Kenny, the 7 points from Dallas comes from their defense.
Eagles, the number 3 seed, tied at 7 at the half. The Visa halftime report is coming up next. A regular season finale for the Eagles and the Cowboys, tied at 7 as we start the second half. David Beeler to kick off. Cowboys brought in Chris Brown this week, but he is not active for today's game. That was a move related to next season. Looking ahead, Cowboys now with Brown on their offseason roster. And this is Gerard Lawson on the return. It's Beeler who makes the tackle at the 34-yard line. So for the Eagles, their final tune-up heading into the playoffs next week, and for the Cowboys, their last half of this 2010 season.
Well, for the Dallas Cowboys, you're trying to build momentum as you go into 2011 and kind of put this season behind you and get refocused on the future. For the Philadelphia Eagles coming into this game, I think there was some concern from the staff with their decision to sit down some starters and play backups the majority of the time. Could this thing get out of control on us? I think they have to be pleasantly surprised by how these guys have played. They've done a nice job. They've shown them that they have depth in a lot of positions.
Cobb firing downfield to a wide open Clay Harbor, and he could not make the catch.
That's one that'll stick with him for a long time. Wow, he couldn't have been more wide open.
This is one of my favorite plays that Philadelphia runs because it's based off the bootleg. Now that tight end normally crosses the field and goes to the second level to the side of the quarterback, but they send him up the numbers on the backside. It turns into a throwback play, and Brent Selleck runs this. We see him running wide open numerous times this season. Clay Harbor just unable to finish that.
Here's Jerome Harrison. Clay Harbor, rookie out of Missouri State, caught his first touchdown pass in the NFL for Michael Vick last week on Tuesday night, and a tremendous opportunity, but it went right through his hands.
Again, he's one of the guys that I really think that Andy Reid and Marty Mornhinweg wanted to take a look at. You know, the potential to have another tight end in that mix with personnel groups. Andy right there, I guarantee, is like, hey, shake it off. Don't let that mistake carry on throughout the course of the second half and cause you to make another one.
Harbor back on the field here, 3rd down and 6. Hall in motion. Cobb out of the shotgun. Cobb steps up away from the pressure. And now he throws. There is a flag downfield. Chad Hall, the intended receiver. Mike Jenkins on the coverage. He leads the league in pass interference penalties this season with 6.
Looks like they're just going to get the hold, not the pass interference.
Holding, defense number 21. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Now, much better than the spot foul that the pass interference would have brought in. But again, this is an inability of the Dallas Cowboys when they bring pressure to make the play. Now you've got the quarterback who's extended the play. You've got one man-to-man coverage down the field. Chad Hall keeps moving. He gets the separation from Mike Jenkins. He has nothing left to do but grab a hold of him.
Well, Mike Jenkins has his hips turned, you know, to the sideline, and he can't go and recover. He's gonna go and play like basketball now, right? One-on-one, keep your hips nice and square to the line of scrimmage. You can go both directions.
Harrison on 1st down out to the 46-yard line. Gain of 4.
It's been a lot of the small technique issues for the Dallas Cowboys, and a lot of times you'll see them in the secondary and they're talking to each other. They're confused at certain times. And I talked to Paul Pasqualoni before the game, and he said, a lot of it is just fundamental techniques. We should be playing an inside leverage, and we're in an outside leverage. We have trouble carrying guys across the formation in motion and getting set on the opposite side with the right technique, and we get beat on the release.
Well, you see the lack of fundamentals in the tackling.
Clay Harbor hangs out to this one, guys, and there is a flag.
They're going to get 15 more for it.
$18 yards from Cobb to Harbor. Tony Correnti discussing things with his crew.
Conclusion of the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 51. 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. First down.
The 6-time Pro Bowler Keith Brooking.
And Jason preaches emotion, passion for the game, but you also have to be smart. And he's down on the ground. You've got to come in to assure the tackle, but you can't go to the head. Do not give the official the opportunity to throw the flag by making contact in the head area.
That was a weak call.
But by rule, they're going to call it every time, Tony.
That's weak, though.
There's Harrison. So 18 on the catch, 15 on the penalty, and now Harrison gains 3 down to the 18-yard line. In case you joined us late, Eagles resting many of their starters, including Michael Vick, LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson. Eagles with a home playoff game next weekend against Green Bay, the Giants, or Tampa Bay. There's Brent Selleck, who is in uniform but has not seen any action. The backups in on the offensive line, aside from Mike McGlynn, in at center after the injury suffered by Max Jean Gillis. Cobb intercepted, threw it right to Terrence Newman.
Kevin Cobb's got to do a better job of recognizing that one. That was an easy one for Terrence Newman right there.
Cowboys take over on offense following the 3rd Eagles turnover. Cobb picked off by Newman. Cowboys 6 possessions in the first half, 6 punts. Felix Jones out across the 25 to the 28-yard line of Dallas, first down.
Well, let's go back to that interception by Terrence Newman. I want you to watch the backfield flow. It's going to be play action to the right. They don't have anybody coming this way to control Terrence Newman. So when there's no flow his way, he's able to look right at the quarterback, read his eyes, and come off and get right in the throwing lane. When you have that type of coverage, you've got to have somebody out there to control him. If not, Kevin Cobb has to realize that Terrence Newman has no responsibility. He's going to be able to drift back inside to my throwing lane.
From the 27 on first down, Cowboys keep it on the ground with Choice as we check in with Kurt.
Well, Indianapolis, if they win, they clinch the AFC South, but they're struggling against Tennessee right now. Terry Collins and Kenny Britt hooking up for a 21-yard score to tie the game at 13. If Tennessee knocks off Indy and Jacksonville can win, Jacksonville clinches the South, but Jacksonville's down by 3 in Houston. Got all that, Kenny Moose and Goose?
Got it, Kurt. Kenny Britt with a touchdown. He had a huge game against Philadelphia back in October.
Huge second half.
And the last game started by Kevin Cobb. Second down and 9. McGee hit as he throws. And the catch is made in Eagles territory by Miles Austin.
Wow, the Eagles,
41-yard pass play.
The Eagles brought everybody. Look at this line of scrimmage. 1, 2, 3, 8 guys. Somebody's going to be downfield, is going to be open. That's a great job by Stephen McGee to get the ball off. Just put it out there. You got some great receivers. Miles Austin, he's one-on-one.
But that's one of the things you find out about a guy like Stephen McGee, Tony. You can have all the film on him and know what he's done with his opportunities, but will he stand in the pocket with the pressure right in his face, stand there strong, and deliver the throw downfield?
From the Eagles 41, McGee swings it out, and Choice unable to make the catch. Ruled an incomplete pass. And then some extracurricular activity between Leonard Davis and Hakeem Jordan.
Pass is ruled incomplete. Second down.
Leonard Davis was showing you how to lock out like I used to show you, Kenny.
Used to. Showed me last night.
This ball's got to be caught right here.
Fundamentals.
Yep.
Trying to find out where Keenan Clayton was before he had the ball secured. He knew he was out there moving up.
Now 2nd and 10 from the Eagles' 41. Cowboys scored their only touchdown on defense. Their deepest penetration has been the Eagles' 40-yard line. McGee on the slant. Roy Williams to the Philadelphia 35, his first catch today.
Jason Garrett with these little plays to the outside, little short screens, trying to slow down that pass rush. Doing a good job. McGee looks like he's getting a little bit more confidence back there, Darryl.
Yeah, he looks much more comfortable.
Yeah,
I agree. That first half, sometimes he was getting his eyes on the pressure coming forward.
We got 8 on the line of scrimmage for Philadelphia.
McGee looking for Williams again. Brandon Hughes on the coverage.
And here's another new guy out there for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he's in good coverage with Roy Williams. Steve McGee checking out the pre-snap look. Comes up, determines that he's going to go to Roy Williams on the snap. Brandon Hughes played tight coverage there.
And now Jason Garrett will leave his offense on the field. Instead of attempting a 53-yard field goal, 4th down and 4.
Here comes the pressure.
McGee over the middle, and a pass a bit low, intended for Austin, so the Cowboys turn it over on downs.
It's a nice job by this Eagles defense. You mentioned it, Kenny. Deepest penetration, they stiffen up and hold that Cowboy offense. When you pressure the quarterback, you change the placement of the ball, and there's Miles Austin telling Stephen McGee, get that out in front of me. It's always in the best position out in front. And I think he's I'd have been going to the end zone if we get that one out there. When it's on the back hip, you've got to slow down. All your momentum comes to a stop.
McGee making his first NFL start. Cobb hands off to Harrison, and now
he's getting a lot of information.
Chatting here, Tony with Tony Romo.
Yeah.
All right, don't listen to those wide receivers. They always want the ball out front. You just get it there, make him make the catch, and everything will be fine.
You're making fun of it. That's exactly what he's saying. You know that, Darryl. They all want the ball. Just spread it around. Relax.
Quarterback coach Wade Wilson, long-time NFL signal caller. 2nd down and 9. Cobb backpedaling, and then he throws it out of bounds. Sensible running over towards the sidelines, nearly had a chance for a pick.
Never good for a quarterback when he's backpedaling to throw the ball downfield. You just got to throw that ball away. I think he was trying to throw it away, but
he was still in the confines of the pocket, Tony, so he's got to get it near somebody. He never broke outside the pocket, so he could have just thrown it away. And that's what happens when you just drift straight backwards. You stay in that pocket area, and now you've got to make sure that that ball is thrown towards a viable receiver.
Third down and 9. Eagles must get to the 45. Cobb steps up, takes off, and looked to be just short. It's close. Our yellow line, of course, is unofficial.
I like the effort going head first, though, because you get all your forward progress until you are contacted. When you slide, it stops right where you would have slid. So if he slides, he would have been down about 1.5 yards before that. So by going head first, he gets all that.
I think it's a bad spot there. I think he's a yard short of that yellow line.
I did too, Goose.
Yeah.
And he got the red flag.
I don't know,
Or Jason got the red flag. He's going to be calling the people upstairs.
That forward slide came into play with Eli Manning in the game here in Philadelphia earlier this season. Wound up fumbling. In a game won by the Eagles back in late November. Here's Harrison up the middle. Gains 2 to the 47. Kevin Cobb making his first start since late October, his 7th career start. He's thrown for 300 yards 3 times in his previous 6 starts. Harrison a bit slow to get up. He'll be replaced by Elder Buckley.
One of those games, here against Atlanta, and Atlanta was at that point considered to be, the top team in the NFC. They finished as the #1 seed, so they've been consistent all year. And Kevin Cobb just had a fantastic afternoon against Atlanta.
Cobb to the outside, and the catch is made in Cowboys territory by Riley Cooper, his 7th catch of the season, the rookie out of Florida. As the Eagles await their opponent next week in the wild card game. Bears leading the Packers 3-0 in the 3rd. Green Bay in with a win. If the Packers lose, Giants would be in with a win, and they lead the Redskins by 10. Tampa Bay has already won. So if the Packers and Giants both lose, it would be the Eagles and the Bucs next week.
The Chicago Bears not getting a whole lot of respect this season, but you hold that Green Bay Packer defense to a shutout at this stage, that's a great defense in Chicago.
Cobb again backpedaling, got rid of it, and Buckley wanted a flag. Scandrick on the coverage. No flags. Eagles will punt.
I think he's got a legitimate point. It looked like Orlando Scandrick got there early.
Kevin Cobb once again backpedaling when he threw this ball.
Fans had to look at it up on the video screen. You can hear their reaction.
And that can't be challenged.
So Cobb to the sidelines. Rocca punting from his own 42-yard line to McCann. McCann lets it bounce. Out of bounds inside the 10. Eagles and Cowboys remain tied at 7. Back in Philadelphia, we are tied at 7. Each team has punted 6 times.
Well, there's a reason why Philadelphia should be struggling a little bit. But for Dallas, this is getting to the point where it's disappointing and frustrating again.
Penalty marker down as McGee rolls right and then throws it away.
Personal foul, chop block, offense number 28. Penalty assessed half the distance to the goal. 18 first down.
Felix Jones.
Well, you can't go low on anybody. Watch Felix Jones right there. You have a guy, offensive lineman, in contact with a linebacker or defensive lineman. You cannot go low. That is a chop block. I remember that when that used to be legal back in the day, Darryl, when we played. No more, though.
So the Cowboys force back to the 5-yard line. 1st and 15. Here's Jones. Out across the 10. We've seen a lot of Felix Jones today, a little bit of Tashard Choice. Marion Barber on the sidelines in uniform has not played in this game.
No, he has not. He has not. And I think that he could be one of the guys that's going to be evaluated during the course of the season this year. And as you pointed out, Kenny, no playing time yet this afternoon. But he had snapped the helmet off last week. He challenged Jason Garrett on the first road trip with the coat and tie policy.
Yep, challenged the dress code. Here's Jones out to the 20-yard line. Saw Barber with his helmet on, standing on the sidelines, but he has not seen any action. Returned last week against Arizona, ran for a season-high 58 yards after missing the prior 3 games with a calf injury.
Obviously, with Stephen McGee in there, you would expect to see a run pass similar to that.
Guess who's in?
They must have heard you guys. Marion Barber's in the game.
There he is on 3rd and 1. Lined up in the backfield behind the fullback Gronkowski. And the handoff is to the fullback. And the rookie out of Arizona picks up the Cowboys' first down.
That's what the fullback's in there for. Get that 1 yard, grind it out, stay low. How did he do on that run, Darryl?
He did nice. You know, he's smart to get behind Leonard Davis. You know, you got to be smart. You know, just find where's number 70. I'm going to get in behind him and just kind of ride in his wake as he moves forward down the field.
Yeah, go for a ride. Those offensive linemen are big guys. Get on the wave, take a ride.
Leonard Davis at 6'6", listed at 355.
Listed.
That was the beginning of the season.
Slant intended, bobbled, and dropped by Williams. Then he tries to kick it. Does that play pretty much epitomize the Cowboys season?
No. I can't let him off that. This is actually, well, I guess if you went to the route of comical, you could say that this play symbolizes it.
What do you have, 6 tries at that one?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5.
Success just out of their grasp.
And he missed the kick. Jerry Jones got a kick out of that one.
Second and 10, here's Barber, his first carry. And he's tackled at the 24 by Colt Anderson.
Colt Anderson is a nice late season pickup by the Philadelphia Eagles off the Minnesota practice squad. And with all the injuries in the secondary, again, you know, one of the things that Sean McDermott is going to be looking at during the course of this game today is that secondary, and all the players are going to be in and out of the lineup because they have been hit so hard by injuries.
Eagles need to get that secondary shored up by next week. 3rd down and 8. McGee takes off.
Great effort.
Dives forward after the initial contact and has a first down.
Dimitri Patterson had him, but great effort by Stephen McGee, like you said, Darryl. That little hop there at the end got him the first down.
You got an overload to this side, Tony, so you've got a +1 situation, or actually Marion Barber and Leonard Davis blocked the same guy. That's how Dimitri Patterson got free and clean. But yeah, just that little move right there. Get that hand down, spring forward.
Keep the body nice and stiff so your knee doesn't hit the ground.
The sharp choice out of the Wildcat. And he will keep it with McGee split out to the right. Third time we've seen the Wildcat formation from the Cowboys today.
You love that Wildcat, right, Darryl?
Oh, yeah, it's one of my favorite things. Because you know you're going to get a lot out of that quarterback out on the perimeter.
Now, if they had the fullback back there as a Wildcat, would you like it better?
No. But here's what I'm saying. You know, that's 11 on 10. Now, we did a Dallas game earlier, and they ran an end around with a reverse and flipped it back to John Kitton, and he threw it down the field. So you can set it up where it can be beneficial, but you know, I'm still trying to figure out the infatuation with the Wildcat from time to time.
Now McGee back under center on 2nd down and 8. And his pass just out of the reach of choice.
He had plenty of time back there. I'll tell you what, he was set. He saw the pressure coming right here. The pressure's right in his face to the right. You got time. Just a bad throw.
McGee's numbers in his first NFL start. 3rd down and 8 for the Cowboys. Cowboys must get to the 44, and McGee's throw a bit high, intended for Jason Witten, off his hands.
Well, in the first half they were low, Darryl. In the 3rd quarter they're high. Maybe it'll get better.
Well, you know, the big thing is even though the pressure's not getting home, they're not getting to Stephen McGee. They're impacting him with his accuracy, and we did see that at the end of the first half. We saw the ball low and away. This one again, it's back shoulder to Jason Witten.
That's because earlier in the game, in the first quarter, they brought the pressure and they got there. Now he's feeling it, like you said, and they're really not getting there, but he's feeling the pressure.
5 straight incompletions for McGee. McGuire's punt out of bounds at the 30. Let's see. Still marking it off, 43-yard line. Who will the Eagles play next week? Well, Green Bay and the Bears now tied at 3. A Packer win, and they will travel to Philadelphia. If the Packers lose and the Giants win, it will be the Giants. They lead Washington by 10. Tampa Bay has already won. 10-point victory over New Orleans, so the Bucs still alive should the Packers and Giants lose. Cobb's pass intended for the tight end. Clay Harbor once again incomplete.
Yeah, he's had an opportunity this afternoon to come out and maybe get some balls thrown his way in the playoffs, but he's dropped quite a few, and that big one at the start of this first half.
I think they took all those plays that they had him in the playoffs out, Darryl.
Yeah,
I don't think they're there anymore.
They're drifting away slowly. I think Brent Selleck right there will be the guy that they're going to. But yeah, you know, he was one of the guys, Tony, that, you know, we want to see what Clay Harbor can do, and all of a sudden there's a chance for some 2 tight end sets, some different things with personnel groupings where he could have been involved in the offense.
You get an opportunity, you got to make the best of it.
2nd and 10, inside handoff to Harrison, and Jerome Harrison takes it all the way down to the Cowboys 24. He gains 36 yards as we head west to Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
Packers needing to win to get into the playoffs had 1st and goal from inside the 1, but the Bears defense stuffed them. On 3rd and goal, Tommy Harris got the sack. Packers settle for a field goal, and they are tied with Chicago at 3. Kenny, Moose, and Goose. The Giants lead the Redskins by 10. If the Bears win and the Giants win, New York gets into the playoffs instead of Green Bay.
Thanks, Kurt. Giants with devastating losses the last 2 weeks to the Eagles and the Packers. Here's Eldrick Buckley. When you think back to that Eagles-Giants game 2 weeks ago, Giants had a 31-10 lead in the 4th quarter with 7.5 minutes remaining. Eagles come back, score 28 points, handing the Giants a devastating blow, but they remain alive with a 10-point lead over Washington.
You take care of business earlier in the season, you have a little bit of wiggle room in the month of December. See Andy Reid upset with the tempo of his offense right now.
2nd down and 8. Harrison, he's bottled up. Sean Lee, rookie out of Penn State, makes the tackle as time winds down in this 3rd quarter.
Well, they got the run fits fixed because that was the same play that we just saw Jerome Harrison go 36 yards on that a couple plays before that. There was absolutely nobody there on that little inside handoff.
Eagles do not have to run another play this quarter. They will head down to the other end of the field. No scoring in the 3rd. So the Eagles and the Cowboys remain tied at 7 with 1 quarter of football remaining in the regular season. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Back in Philadelphia with producer Barry Landis, director Michael Frank, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Eagles and Cowboys tied at 7.
I didn't expect this. I give my hats off to this Philadelphia team, showing their staff they've got a lot of depth.
With many of their starters either not in uniform or on the sidelines. Cobb taken down by Jason Hatcher back at the 26-yard line.
All right, Jason Hatcher, just get back in the huddle. You know, you had 1 good play so far this game. I've been watching them. You got 5 wins. Just act like you've been there before, bud.
Tony has his eyes on you, Jason.
Yeah, you got to go and you got to play every down. It's you know, just because you go and get a sack there in the 4th quarter doesn't mean that you've arrived.
And here's David Akers out to attempt a 43-yard field goal. Rocket puts it down. And Akers knocks it straight through. So the Eagles take a 3-point lead. Goose, one more look. What a difference a year makes. Dallas Cowboys won the NFC East at 11-5 last season with Tony Romo leading the way. They beat the Eagles 34-14 in the playoffs before losing to Minnesota. It was the Cowboys' first postseason win in 14 years. Eagles heading back to the postseason as McCann is tackled at the 23. For the Cowboys, it's their final quarter of the season. Eagles lead the Cowboys 10-7. Green Bay Packers have gone ahead of the Chicago Bears 10-3 early in the fourth quarter. Cowboys going to work from their own 22-yard line. McGee with time. There is a flag. It's deflected right into the hands of Martellus Bennett. And he takes it out to the 32-yard line.
Illegal use of the hands, hands of the face, defense. This penalty is...
He doesn't really know yet.
Penalty is declined. The result of the play, first down.
So Martellus Bennett picks up the first. He says, look what I found.
That's amazing, bouncing around in there. A lot of Eagle uniforms. Martellus Bennett ends up being the one coming down with it.
Bennett, a teammate of McGee at Texas A&M. McGee moving to his right, chased by Buckley. And he steps out of bounds at the 37-yard line after picking up 4.
Well, he's made quick decisions, and this is a good decision here. He's got the slant route on, but it's covered very well, and there's potential for it to be interception. So he pulls it down and then just, quickly decides to take off and run with it.
The only problem I see right now, right here with Stephen McGee, Darryl, is he's only looking at half the field. Yeah. On the top side, he's got another wide receiver. Not sure who that was. I think it was Miles Austin up at the top. There he is again. I mean, in man-to-man coverage, you got to look and see the whole field. And right now, he's just zoning in on half the field.
Felix Jones picks up a first down. Now, something else McGee had to work on this week. He usually took snaps in practice from Phil Costa, the backup center, working with Andre Gerard, who snaps it a little bit to his left, and that's something that John Kidna talked to Stephen McGee about last week when he entered the game in Arizona.
Yeah, and he continued to remind him, because when he works with Phil Costa, it's kind of a straight down the middle snap, and he's definitely got to have his hands further to the left for Andre Gerard, and they've been able to do a good job. Last week when he came in at Arizona, and so far today, there hasn't been a problem with the quarterback-center exchange. But again, it's some of those little things that you just never think about when you talk about a change at quarterback.
Andre Gerard heading to his 5th Pro Bowl as Felix Jones exits. So as you mentioned, Darryl, one of those little things, and McGee spends a lot of time at the practice facility, lives only a couple of blocks away in Valley Ranch, works very hard. Started the season, of course, as the 3rd-string quarterback, had that terrific preseason game we referenced against Miami, and then he moved up to number 2 after the injury suffered by Tony Romo. 2nd down and 7. McGee's pass is deflected, and it hit the turf. Bunkley got a piece of it. McGee wears number 7. He's the 7th Texas-born quarterback to start a game for the Dallas Cowboys. Akeem Jordan with an opportunity for the pick as well.
And one of the good things that Stephen McGee is doing is taking advantage of the opportunity of the people around him, too. He's got John Kitna there, and he's always bending his ear, trying to find out some stuff. Wade Wilson, the quarterback coach, a long NFL career, and then, of course, Jason Garrett. So he's always asking those guys questions.
A lot of quarterbacks around him. 3rd down and 7, movement prior to the snap.
False start, offense, number 80. 5-yard penalty.
It's on Martellus Bennett. Time for another game break with Kirk.
Well, Green Bay wins, and they are in. Right now, they've taken the lead for the first time today over the Bears. Donald Lee with a 1-yard touchdown reception from Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay scored the last 2 times they touched the ball. lead it 10-3. Once again, if they win, they are in. Kenny Moose and Goose.
And Kurt, they would play the Philadelphia Eagles here next week, right where they started the regular season in Philadelphia. A 27-20 Packers win week 1. McGee on 3rd and 12, gets away from Tapp, looking to run for a first down. He's got it on the dive inside the 41-yard line.
That was a tremendous belly flop right there at the end, Darryl. I'll tell you what, he has a real good sense of where the markers are, and he gets to it. I like how he tucks the ball, too, here. Don't leave it out there for a defender to come and slap it out, dive, get the first down.
He has a knack for getting those last extra couple of yards with those leaps.
He's run for 49 yards today on 7 carries, averaging 7 yards a carry. New set of downs for the Cowboys. Inside handoff to the fullback, Gronkowski. And he gains 5 to the Eagles' 35-yard line.
Like Jamar Adams came up to meet Gronkowski, and it wasn't to his benefit, Darryl. He took one in the chops.
Good physical run by Chris Gronkowski on that.
There's Jamar Adams making his Eagles debut. Played 7 games with the Seahawks over the last couple of seasons. Brought up from the practice squad this week, 2nd down and 5. Marion Barber, his 2nd carry. And a nice tackle made by Brandon Hughes.
A good job being on the outside. A lot of times these plays like the bounce outside. That's his job. Brandon Hughes, he's going to be the contain on the outside. He initially started to move inside, but he got back outside, was able to wrestle Marion Barber down to the turf.
Here's another one of those young players in the secondary, formerly with the Giants on their practice squad, looking for some playing time in the postseason. 3rd down and 4.
Once again, Philly's on the line of scrimmage with 7.
McGee fires, and it's Jamar Adams on the coverage. Pass intended for Jason Witten.
I think that Sean McDermott has to be pleased with what he has seen from his secondary today. This is great timing by Jamar Adams. And excellent timing. Gets there, physical at the point of the catch, knocks it loose from Jason Witten.
I think Stephen McGee is making it pretty easy on Sean McDermott and the secondary with everything is up underneath in the middle of the field. He's thrown in the area where there's the most amount of people. He has to take a little bit more time and throw something downfield.
52-yard attempt, David Peeler. It is wide to the right. He hit from 53 twice this season, missing from 52.
I really don't like having the day off.
But would you rather be playing?
I'd much rather be playing.
Playing for the week off?
Due to the fact that we're going to have to play next week. I want to stay in the rhythm. But you know what? Shoot it out. Make it happen, baby. However it come. Hey.
Well, Michael Vick did not exactly come out of Tuesday night's game 100% healthy either, so although he would love to be out on the field playing, probably better for all parties concerned that he's back in the locker room today. As Cobb fires downfield, Chad Hall makes the catch at the Cowboys' 10-yard line. 48 yards from Cobb to Hall.
Now, this has been the Achilles heel for this defense all season long. The big play turns into a double move. You've got no help. Understanding the situation in the game, playing the right techniques, you cannot let that happen.
I'll tell you what, if I'm in this secondary for the Dallas Cowboys after this game, I don't want to even answer the phone because I'd be worried that Jerry Jones would be calling to cut me because they have played a really, really bad game and really, they haven't played well at all this year.
1st and goal, Cobb looking to run, and he's down back at the 11.
I think that was off the Michael Vick play sheet, and Marty Morningway got confused there for a second.
Yeah, didn't know that Kevin was in there.
Oh, that's number 4. Oh, all right, let me get rid of that one.
Tell you what, I'm really impressed, Darryl, with the way this Eagles offense and defense they have played. I'm really surprised, and we both talked about it, about, you know, you got the twos coming out. I mean, it's almost like a preseason game, and, you know, how are they going to compete against this Cowboys offense and defense? But they've dominated both sides of the ball, in my opinion.
Doing it with a makeshift offensive line without their key skill position players. Cobb to Harrison, Michael Vick not in uniform, LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson inactive, Brent Selleck in uniform has not played, and backups at many of the offensive line positions, including a left tackle in Austin Howard making his first NFL start.
I mean, the difference in what these guys are playing for this afternoon in Philadelphia, these young guys playing for an opportunity to show the coaches that maybe during the course of the playoffs they could find a package to become a part of. Some of these guys on the Cowboys are playing for their future with this franchise.
These guys on Eagles got pride. That's the difference.
3rd and goal from the 7. Cobb out of the shotgun, steps up, takes off, down at the 3. Tackled by Brooking.
There's another play, Darryl. That was designed for Michael Vick. Kevin Cobb is a competitor, though.
Yeah, I think in that situation, he just pulled that one down and tried to make something happen with the coverage. Marty Morningweg's done a heck of a job this year as the offensive coordinator for the Eagles. Done a great job working with Michael Vick and getting him to play the quarterback position better than he's ever played the game at the NFL.
And will Marty receive some head coaching consideration once this season comes to an end? From the left hash, Akers from 22. It is good, so the Eagles extend their lead. It's now 13-7. Six-point lead for the Eagles as they go for win number 11. Eagles locked into the number 3 spot of the NFC. They will host the wild card game next weekend. Manny Johnston back deep for the Cowboys as Dallas makes the switch from McCann, but it's a short kick, and it's taken by Martin Rucker, 3rd string tight end, and he is forced out of bounds at the 32. Cowboys trail the Eagles by 6, 13-7. Just under 7 minutes remaining here in Philadelphia. Stephen McGee and the Cowboys start from their own 32-yard line. McGee wrapped up, taken down. Daniel Nesheim, 3rd-round pick out of Washington with his first NFL sack.
And I don't know what happened on the right side. These guys are just going to come clean. 2 of them. And Jeremy Clark comes free. Daniel Nesheim comes clean.
Roy Williams is at the top of your screen running by himself. Stephen McGee just didn't have the time to find him.
Loss of 10, now 2nd and 20. McGee's pass short, intended for Winton, who does not have a catch today. Keenan Clayton on the coverage. The Green Bay Packers lead the Bears 10-0 midway through the 4th quarter. If the Packers win, they will head to Philadelphia next weekend. If the Bears come back and win, and the Giants hang on and defeat the Redskins, then it would be the Giants here in Philadelphia. If both the Giants and Packers lose, then Tampa Bay would be the 6th seed of the NFC. But those games in Green Bay and Washington, both with approximately 7 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Bears led the Packers 3-0. It's now 10-3 Green Bay. McGee on 3rd and 20, nearly intercepted by Keenan Clayton.
I think he saw the end zone, Goose, before he had the ball secured. He does everything right. Sits back in the zone coverage, sees Jason Witten coming across, reads Stephen McGee's eyes, jumps the route, and just doesn't catch it.
I don't know what Stephen McGee was looking at. And Jason Witten wasn't even looking back at him. You had 2 linebackers sat down right in the zone.
Ball has to retreat all the way back to the 15-yard line. Tackled at the 19. A 62-yard punt by McBride. Well, this February, seen NASCAR's biggest race like you've never seen it race before at the newly paved Daytona International Speedway, where drivers can now go 3 wide. It's sure to be the most competitive and exciting Daytona 500 in recent history. The NASCAR and Fox season begins with the running of the Great American Race this February next month, only on Fox. We race ahead to the postseason. Eagles are in. And the Eagles coaching staff has already started to work on the 3 potential opponents for next week's game. The Eagles conceivably could play 3 games in a stretch of 12 days should they play on Saturday. Here's Harrison. And he's tackled by the combination of Ware and Brooking at the 21-yard line.
They had a little bit of practice earlier this season. Did they go 3 in 11 days on a Monday, Thursday, Sunday?
Andy Reid says we play just about every day like Fresno State. We've played on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays. Last week's game against Minnesota, originally scheduled at 1 on Sunday, flexed to the nighttime, and then moved to Tuesday. 2nd down and 9. Cobb rolling right. Close downfield, too far for Chad Hall, who's had a big game today with 6 receptions for 84 yards. He had 5 catches all season coming into this game.
And the guy that's given the opportunity to be a part of this offense is taking advantage of it.
Little dash out to the right there to give Kevin Cobb a little bit of extra time, and takes a little bit of a hit. He competes, Darryl, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely.
Like Stephen McGee, Cobb grew up in Texas. They grew up about an hour and a half apart, which in Texas may be the equivalent of living right next door. They knew each other. As the ball comes loose at the 30-yard line. And the Eagles recover. McGee was telling us some of the coaches from his high school had also coached at Cobb's high school. So they've had a nice relationship through the years, starting against one another here today.
Brady James gets that ball punched out, and there's Mike McGlynn hustling down the field. And that's what happens. You get people that are hustling to the ball. You get an opportunity to take a negative play that really would give Dallas a great opportunity sitting here as a 1-possession game. And Mike McGlynn takes it away from him by hustling down the field.
Tell you what, a player I've been watching, Darryl, and going to the Pro Bowl, Jay Ratliff. I'll tell you what, he is a competitor. Jay Ratliff has really done a great job today, playing that nose position, getting pressure, getting double teamed a lot. That's a guy I wouldn't mind playing right next to.
Heading to his 3rd straight Pro Bowl, Goose. Cowboys will have 5 Pro Bowl starters. Incredible for a 5-10 team. They sent 13 players to the Pro Bowl back in 2007. Jason Witten heading to his 7th Pro Bowl. Andre Gerard his 5th. Jay Ratliff his 3rd. DeMarcus Ware his 5th. And the punter Matt McBride his 2nd, all named as starters.
Pretty impressive. Jason Witten coming off of one of the best seasons he's had as a Dallas guy. And there's Jay Ratliff, who Tony talked about, and just sitting across the table from me, we really couldn't get. He was so mad. He was so mad at how this season has unfolded. Every time we kind of touched on certain topics, he couldn't even vocalize how he felt.
And then he said, we just need to finish strong. Harrison brought down by Spencer.
You got to love it when you talk to a player, Darryl, and it hurts him that, you know, when he sat down, he said, oh, I'm tired of losing. I'm just tired of losing. I'm tired of losing. He said it seemed like 10 times. And, you know what that feeling is like. You know, me and Darryl have both been through a 1-15 season, and, you know, you're grinding it out, but you just got to go and play. And that's a guy who hasn't given up all season right there.
And it's not so much, you know, the joy when you win a football game, because I think that a lot of times in the NFL or really in football that you really become expected to win. So when you win, it's what people thought you should have done. So you really don't take any enjoyment. For me, it was the losing. I mean, that sick feeling on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, Monday morning.
Most memorable loss, Darryl. What was yours?
The championship game in 1994 out in San Francisco. I mean, started the game horrible, 21 points down, 4.5 minutes in the game.
AFC Championship game against the Steelers. And I would have played you in the Super Bowl if we won that game.
I know.
Would have been nice.
I know.
That's the one that just sticks with you forever.
And that 94 championship game, Darryl, Jason Garrett referenced that game to his team this week. As Cobb moves to his left, and Spencer's got him down at the 25. You guys fell behind 21-0 midway through the first quarter. Battled back, lost the game by 10, but Jason Garrett, who calls timeout here, stops the clock with 3:09 remaining, brought that game up as an example to his club. So the Cowboys will get the ball back, trailing by 6. This Tuesday at 9, 8 Central. It's the return of $1 Million Money Drop. Don't miss TV's most exciting new game show where you start with $1 million. The hard part is keeping it. Will they win it all or watch it fall? $1 Million Money Drop. All new Tuesday at 9, 8 Central on Fox. Will Jason Garrett return as the head coach of the Cowboys? It was reported this morning that it's a done deal. Tony Siragusa chatted with Jerry Jones, who said, reports that I made my decision are wrong, but I'm proud of the job Jason has done. I will go through the interview process. Rocca's punt bounces across midfield and will set up the Cowboys with terrific field position with 1 timeout and 2:58 remaining. Only a 28-yard punt by Rocca.
Well, one of the big things that Dallas hasn't been able to do all season long is finish games. They've been in games in the fourth quarter with an opportunity to win those games, and they haven't been able to finish. This is an opportunity for them right here. They have not played well this afternoon. I mean, Philadelphia's backups have really controlled this game. Both sides of the line of scrimmage, I commend Philadelphia for how well they've played. This is an opportunity for Dallas with Stephen McGee at quarterback to finally kind of get some of that bad taste out of their mouth from all season long when they've been in similar situations and have never been able to finish.
One constant during the Jason Garrett reign as head coach, Cowboys have been able to score points. There's Witten's first catch in Eagles territory at the 47. The defense with the only Dallas touchdown today. In the 7 games under Garrett, Cowboys have scored at least 26 points in every game. That's the longest streak in franchise history. 26 or more points in 7 consecutive games.
And this is against a Philadelphia defense with backups in there that has really struggled to stop teams from scoring.
Going with the spread here, Darryl. They got to give him time back there in the pocket. Get the ball downfield.
2nd down and 3. As McGee throws, it's Witten, and he fights his way for looked like a first down, but now the ball is spotted shy of the 44. Witten questions the official.
Yeah, I thought he had forward progress beyond the first down and was knocked back.
Looked like he did. Clock stops with 2:18 remaining as Witten was forced out of bounds. Let's take another look.
There's Brandon Hughes there.
That ball looks like it's across
right there.
yellow
Darryl
line.
comes in, knocks him backwards.
So it's now 3rd and inches, but Jason Garrett does throw the red flag. He will challenge. They are down to the 2-minute warning in Green Bay with the Packers leading the Bears 10-3. Redskins have cut the Giants lead to 3. Bears have the football with 2 minutes remaining, trailing Green Bay by 7.
And this is one of those challenges where Jason Garrett will have to win both. He'll have to win the spot being further down the field and then enough for the first down.
Challenging the spot with relation to the first down.
Was a ruling of forward progress rather than down by contact. And by rule, forward progress is not a reviewable play. 3rd down.
Wow.
See, a lot of it is how you get to replay.
So down by contact was not the ruling, explains Tony Correnti. Forward progress was the question.
First of all, the official is way over here, you know, when he should be over near the stakes. I don't know how he could spot the ball or tell where the ball went out when he's 7 yards away from where the ball was.
With the play clock operator, Please reset the play clock to 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Thank you.
So the Cowboys facing a 3rd and inches from just inside the 45-yard line.
Thank you.
Tony Correnti asked the clock operator to reset the play clock. And the play clock runs all the way down, but the Cowboys call timeout first.
Offense.
Oh, no, we got the official. Here he comes running in. Watch.
Yeah, one of the officials did signal timeout.
And he was on the Dallas sideline.
From the bench, there was timeout called prior to the penalty for delay. Dallas, their 3rd and final timeout.
So the Cowboys used their 3rd and final timeout, facing a 3rd and inches because of the last play as Witten was stopped shy. Jason Garrett wanted to challenge, and we welcome in from the Fox Command Center, Mike Pereira. What was your interpretation of that play?
Well, I don't know why it's not reviewable. Forward progress is not reviewable in relationship to the ball coming out. So forward progress versus down by contact. But forward progress is in relationship to a first down. So, I mean, I think here Dallas has the first down. And I don't know where they are arriving at this aspect about this not being reviewable. By the way, there's not been a legal snap. You still could go back to this being reviewed. But Tony's right. Forward progress is not reviewable in relationship to down by contact. But it's beyond me why they're not reviewing this play.
Tony, or Mike, can you open it up by asking for a different interpretation of replay?
Philadelphia.
Well, theoretically, you could. I mean, and here's another timeout situation. But I mean, you'd have to say something along the line of are there 12 men on the field? But again, you're talking about the progress spot in relationship to the first down. Dallas did not make the first down, so they're 3rd and inches. So here you get to the point where, okay, you're challenging the ruling of the spot of forward progress, not for a ball coming loose. This is exactly, unless I'm reading something differently here, which I don't think I am. Yes, you can't challenge forward progress if you've ruled it before a ball comes loose. But you can, and that's the interesting part of this, you can in relationship to a first down. So I really think the crew's incorrect here.
Mike, you're absolutely right. Page 111 of the rule book, reviewable plays, C5. You are allowed to challenge forward progress with respect to a first down. Cowboys were not allowed to challenge, and now on 3rd and inches, it's Barber.
Well, if that's true, the Dallas Cowboys used a timeout for no reason. Correct, guys?
And then the Eagles used the timeout as well. We hit the 2-minute warning.
This is the 2-minute warning.
So we'll return for the final 2 minutes with the Cowboys trailing the Eagles by 6. Fourth and inches for the Cowboys. From just inside the Eagles' 45-yard line. The fullback, Gronkowski. It will depend on the spot. And the Cowboys do pick up a first down. Cowboys with no timeouts remaining. The Green Bay Packers have defeated the Chicago Bears 10-3. So the Packers and Eagles will play here in Philadelphia in a wild card game next weekend. Giants have been eliminated. Buccaneers have been eliminated. Giants lead their game with just over 2 minutes remaining. But the Green Bay Packers are in.
I get it.
2nd and 10. McGee complete to Jason Witten. Witten inside the 30, still on his feet. Witten inside the 10 and finally forced out of bounds by Hughes as Witten gains 33, and the Cowboys are now 10 yards away from a touchdown.
Felix Jones gets just enough of Keenan Clayton to get him knocked beyond the pocket. A great catch and run. Look at 15, Manny Johnston down the field, blocking Brandon Hughes. Great effort, recognizing that your tight end is breaking tackles, coming your way. Lock onto the guy, get him a few extra yards, and allow him to get out of bounds.
Longest play for the Cowboys today, 33 yards. Cowboys with no timeouts. 1st and 10 from the Eagles' 11. McGee steps up. And he spins down to the 5-yard line. McGee, most rushing yards by a Dallas quarterback since Troy Aikman gained 60 on the ground against the Eagles back in '89. He has 56 yards on 8 carries. Second down and 3. McGee's pass is incomplete. Manny Johnston, the intended receiver. Brandon Hughes on the coverage with 59 seconds remaining. 3rd and 3 upcoming.
Manny Johnston working at the top. Push Miles Austin to the corner. Here he comes to the inside. An opportunity to make a huge play for his team. Manny Johnston can't catch that ball. It was a well-thrown ball by Stephen McGee.
Cowboys trailing by 6. Johnson split out to the left. Austin to the right. Williams in the slot. McGee's pass is caught and taken in for a touchdown by Jason Witten.
Well, that's the reason he's been to 7 Pro Bowls with the game on the line. Even Stephen McGee knows who he needs to get the ball to. The big play to get him down in close, and then a nice job finishing it with the touchdown. David Beeler missed an extra point last week against Arizona that ended up costing him 27-26.
This is for the lead. Beeler connects.
Flag on the play.
Illegal formation, offense number 63 lined up over the center. This penalty will be accepted on the kickoff. The extra point is good.
So the Cowboys take a 1-point lead as Jason Witten ties a franchise record for most touchdowns in a season by a tight end. Dallas with under a minute remaining. Cowboys now lead by 1.
Well, we've got all but one spot filled with the NFC playoffs. The winner of that Rams-Seahawks game later this evening gets to host the New Orleans Saints. I think the Green Bay-Philadelphia game is going to be a heck of a football game next week.
Andy Reid still wears his Super Bowl ring. He was a member of Mike Holmgren's staff in Green Bay when they won the Super Bowl back in the late 90s. The OT coming up following the Cowboys and the Eagles. And the big game tonight out in Seattle between the Rams and the Seahawks for the NFC West and the number 4 seed. The Indianapolis Colts have beaten Tennessee, so the Colts are in.
Tell you what, you talked about the Eagles going against Green Bay. I'll tell you what, the Green Bay's defense, the athleticism that they have, the speed going against Michael Vick, that's going to be a show.
Witten celebrating following his touchdown. It'll be the Jets at the Colts, Ravens, and the Chiefs. Patriots and Steelers with byes.
What do you think, Ravens-Chiefs, Tony, your old team?
I don't know. I tell you what, I think the Ravens, going against a pounding team like the Chiefs, good ground game. They're matched up pretty well. I think it's a pretty even game right there. I think the Ravens, they got some momentum, but they've been up and down this season. And Kansas City scares me a little bit. They got some talent over there.
DeMarcus Ware, sack number 3.
Marcus Ware's been on fire, aren't they?
Yeah, you can see Austin Howard right away talk to Clay Harbor. And, you know, I think he was expecting help somewhere on the outside. See, there's Clay Harbor, 82, in motion. And, you know, I think he's expecting him to release to the outside. And that's one of the things you have to understand. When you've got a dominant pass rusher, and you're a tight end or a fullback coming across the formation in motion, get a little bit of depth and watch how he's coming upfield. Now, as he comes to the outside to try and beat Austin Howard with speed, you loop around him and you give him a shoulder as you go by. You don't release inside and try and get out on your route right away. You need to help out your tackle.
Eagles now with one timeout remaining, trailing by a point. Cobb's pass deflected. Stephen Bowen got a hand on it.
You talk about the one guy that's kind of changed his game. If Dallas is evaluating everybody, DeMarcus Ware is the one guy that jumps out. Stephen Bowen gets the deflection there. Falls into an empty space in that secondary, but DeMarcus Ware has the touchdown, one of the touchdowns for Dallas. He's been a force off the edge.
That's why he's a Pro Bowl guy, Darryl. 3 sacks. Wow.
His second 3-sack game this season. Cobb fires downfield.
Man, Cobb took a shot.
He sure did.
Wow.
I tell you, you talk about a tough guy in the pocket. I mean, Kevin Cobb knows that he's going to get hit by Stephen Bowen. He stands in there and just takes a big hit.
Oof. Bowen does a great job beating 2 guys. Staying low on him.
And that's right in the side on the ribs.
Fourth down and 19. Eagles must get to the 30. Cobb steps up, fires downfield, and it is Terrence Newman who comes up with his second interception of this game to seal it for the Cowboys.
Well, the Cowboys are going to win this game on the scoreboard, but I think that Andy Reid is going to be very pleased with the effort that his guys put out there today. He made the decision to sit a lot of his starters to make sure that they were as healthy as they possibly could be when they host Green Bay next weekend in the wild card round of the playoffs. And he was going up against Dallas' starting lineups offensively and defensively, and his guys played really, really well today.
Well, Stephen McGee will pick up a victory in his first NFL start. A late touchdown pass to Jason Witten. And the Cowboys finished 5-3 under Jason Garrett. Kevin Cobb took that late hit from Stephen Bowen. Eagles 10-6. Heading to their matchup with Green Bay. Cowboys started the season 1-7. They finish 6-10. So the Cowboys win this one by a point. We'll return to Philadelphia to wrap things up after these messages.